Welcome to the Legacy League's Winter 18 post-game show. I'm Joe Catapano, back for another season of Legacy League's action. We got some new faces next to me and one old one. So we have Mike, Kendall, Stucky. You remember him from the summer 17 season, and Joe down there at the end. Guys, some new teams. We have some good teams, some new teams, old teams, and you guys got a good taste of some Legacy League's action here on Monday and Tuesday night. And you started off with the two-time defending champion Monstars up against the Temptations. Everyone knows the deal with the Temptations, Carmine Santarelli. But it kind of didn't end that way. For those of you watching that game, he fouled out in the fourth quarter, and his team almost played better without him. For those of you watching that game, what kind of happened between the Monstars and Temptations in overtime?
So it was a very close game the whole time. When Carmine Santarelli fouled out, they had to go to somebody else. They had to get off the bench. To end the game, Quentin Miles, he blocked the final shot. He lobbed it up and didn't go into overtime. They play a very clean game, very limited turnovers. So with Carmine out of the game, his brother stepped up, hit a clutch three at the top of the three, and went into overtime. It was a really close game.
Yeah, still very surprising. Monstars, two-time defending champions, but a very different team. I don't know, Stucky, if you were watching, because you know the Monstars from the summer. Much different team. No Langston brothers. Larry Little's gone.
Yeah.
It's a much different team.
Yeah, I mean, and you pointed out big. It's huge, right? You see the glaring weaknesses with the lack of the Langston brothers, right? You see that they're not as fast as they were. They're not as physical as they were from the summertime. With Larry Little gone, they kind of that personality. Some of that personality is taken away from that team, so they look kind of a little weak in that first game to start. But it's the Monstars, so we'll see how they rebound during the rest of the season. We were having the same discussion at the beginning of the summer season, so we'll see.
And we were treated to two overtime games on the opening night. We had another former team in the Flint Tropics returning team lost to a new team in the Rim Breakers, 67-66 in overtime. For those of you watching that game, the Flint Tropics had, I think, as much as a 17-point lead in the second half in blue. What happened there?
Oh, well, the Rim Breakers did a great job in coming back. They had a buzzer-beating dunk to send the game into overtime. Paul Fairfax of the Rim Breakers led the team to 15 points. And when asked what to expect from the Rim Breakers the rest of the season, he said a whole lot of rim breaking. And Mike Rizzuto of the Flint Tropics led the team with 22 points. Had a great game, just valiant effort, but just couldn't have his team pull through. Props to the Rim Breakers coming back. Big opening season win against Flint Tropics, who were the number 3 seed in the playoffs last season. Mm-hmm. So big statement win, and Flint Tropics look to rebound next week.
Yeah, very uncharacteristic for the Flint Tropics. Every time they got a lead over the summer, they basically held it. So very uncharacteristic of them. I'm sure they'll bounce back next week and try to pretty much say that they're still here to stay. A third game that we had on Monday night, No Limit against kind of a new team in the Blue Devils, new team name, but some returning players. Mike Davis, from the Brotherhood and Serial Killers of the Past. He was there, but they couldn't come back late. No Limit held on, 93-87. That was a very good game. No Limit pulled away. Blue Devils kind of came back a little at the end to make it look respectable. Who was watching that game and what happened there?
So I was watching that game, and it was very interesting. The first half, it was close throughout the whole game. It was neck and neck. I think the final score was 35-31. They only up 34, No Limit. But then in the third quarter, they were able to go on a 10-2 run with Eric Singleton helping out. He had 8 assists and 22 points. And unfortunately, the Blue Devils came back in the fourth quarter because they had a monstrous fourth quarter due to Michael Davis' 38 points. So they came back, but unfortunately they weren't able to squeeze out a victory.
Mm-hmm. And you mentioned Mike Davis there. A little shout out to Mike. He eclipsed 1,000 points in his Legacy League's career, first player to do so. So congrats, Mike, on that milestone. The other 4 games in Week 1, not as good as the first 3 we just talked about. And starting off on Monday, Team Moose, returning team, took down Shoot 71-39. Kind of what you expect out of Team Moose, especially Stucky. You watched them a lot over the summer. They put up a good amount of points, even though they play pretty slow and they don't allow a lot of points. So kind of basically see the same thing you saw from them over the summer.
I mean, you see that these guys play basketball with each other. Like, This is not their first rodeo together. They've been doing this for a while, right? So they develop a team chemistry and a rapport where a team like Shoot, who is just a new name with same old faces from other teams that we knew about already, and we knew what they brought to the table. So, and we know what Team Moose brings to the table already. They proved themselves over the summer, and they've been doing and looking to do the same thing over this season too. So it's more team moves coming at you, I guess.
In the Tuesday night games, more blowouts, all three of them, clean sweep of blowouts. It started off with the throne of a returning team against semi-pro. First team to go in the triple digits this season, of 113-37. What's that, like a 70-point win there? I don't know. I was glad I didn't watch that game because it didn't seem like there was much to watch other than a lot of points for one team. Anyone like to chime in on what they saw from the throne?
The funny thing is, it was a game to watch because we haven't seen Bacciello play since he injured himself last summer. And he looked like the same old Bacciello that we saw last summer. He put 51 points. He scored 30 of those 51 in the first half. Seven steals. He played defense. He played offense. He did everything you wanted him to do in a returning game, right? He came back and he was like a man on a mission, and he pulled the team to victory. 70 points, like wow, you know?
Yeah, that's definitely a storyline to watch out for, is if Bacciello stays healthy. I think that throne team from the summer could have gone a lot farther had he been healthy.
Yeah, you know, funny thing is, he goes, I'm back, I'm healthy, we're winning it all. So, you know.
Confidence there.
All right. Real confident.
Convincing in
about
week one. Shoot, not the best, or semi-pro, not the best performance in week one.
Right.
So we'll see. We'll take it with a grain of salt for the throne. Game 2 of the night, Goon Squad, BS&B. Really old vintage teams when we go back to like summer 16, fall 16 teams in Goon Squad, and BS&B. Goon Squad, too much for BS&B. They took them down 85-59. For some of you new guys, a very old team, you guys are new. What did you think from those two teams in that game?
So Goon Squad came out with a very high energy performance, and they maintained that throughout the entire game. When I asked one of the players, how do you do that? They were just like, this is my team. We run and we play hard. And I think that's something to admire. It was nonstop. Like they ran the entire game no matter what the point score was. Matt Marconi led their team with 23 points and had a block.
Mike, I think you were there too. Anything else you saw from that game?
I think she said it all. I think the Goon Squad came out hard and physical. They really dominated that game from the opening tip. So look to see what they have to offer going forward.
Yeah, Marconi and Mazzaro look good, so I'll be interested to see if they can kind of keep their success going in Legacy Leagues. Last game of the night, very interesting one. My new favorite team to root against in Stranger Danger, especially. It's fun because we're up here and everyone else is behind the camera. You have the commissioner, basically editor-in-chief Tyler. You have some old interns. It's going to be a fun season kind of poking fun at them, and I think they kind of asked for it as Joey takes off his jersey behind the camera. 87-64. The Chasers, a new team over Stranger Danger, 87-64. You guys were all able to watch that game because there was only one game at 10 o'clock here on Court 1 on Tuesday. Any initial thoughts on what you saw over here?
The Chasers are grown men, and they come into play every game, right? They got a point guard bringing the ball down court. He's huge, you know what I mean? They got the big guy down low who's tough to. He's any person who has to defend that big guy down low. He's gonna be quiet on the offensive end. So these guys have guys that can play ball, you know what I mean? They look like they're a team that has played together, you know what I mean? Tonight we saw they played a Stranger Danger team who they've got some new faces, and then they got some guys that haven't played before. So, you know what I mean? They're getting a feel for things. Like the old Run TMC, they'll get better as the season progresses. I mean, they got the commissioner on the team, so come on.
Yeah, I think the Chasers, they were doing a good job on the perimeter, and then once the other team realized that they were hitting down shots, they kind of spread out on defense a little bit, and then once the Chasers realized that, they were able to drive the hole and kind of dominate on the boards and in the paint.
Yeah, when it seemed to me when Stranger Danger got down a little bit, you could kind of tell that the score was going to be a lot more exaggerated by the end of what it really could have been. So when they got down around 20, you kind of felt it was over. You see that as well?
Yeah, I saw that as well. I saw the lack of energy.
Anything else, Kendall?
I think everybody said it for me.
And a little shout out to Stranger Danger, Tyler Feldman, career high 6 points. Big milestone down there. Puts in the hard work. He put the hard work on the boards today. And we'll wrap it up here from In Sports, Legacy Leagues, Winter 18, Week 1. Check us out on Facebook, Legacy Leagues, Instagram, Twitter, Legacy_Leagues. Check us back later in the week on the website at thelegacyleagues.com for power rankings. These guys are going to have a lot to say. Get some new opinions up in here in Legacy Leagues. We'll see you next week here at In Sports Monday night for Week 2.